Okay, g'day, Rudy here. So this video is all about the American and those global ETFs attached to it. But a bit of stats for you. So this is how often the S&P 500 has peaked for the year, as in the calendar year, each month since 1980. Okay, so what this means is that in five of the last, since 1980, in 5 years, January was the top for the calendar year. Okay, can you see that's 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we're heading into the business end of town. So August has only been once, so only once since 1980. September twice, October 4 times, November 4 times, and December 24 times. So even though so that doesn't mean it can't drop now, but what it means is that in over half of the times, December was a month that made the peak return. So a drop in September, October, then a rally up to make a high, and then fall off in December. And I think they say in the last few weeks of December. So that's quite interesting, I thought. Yes, and we'll have another little history the history thing to come to too. Okay, so S&P 500. So we're at the top of this big channel here. That's monthly charts. We're going to go to weekly charts. Okay, so technically there's no big red candles like this. So the chart's saying nothing to panic. Really 6,300. Big red candle past there. 62. So 6,200. Final straw. 6,200. Well, this high here. So that's 61.50. So you could see it fall out, but it's not panic stations yet. You really need a week of this big red candle for the week. That was a bit of a scary one, that one there. But you got to remember, we've got low interest rates now setting the scene. Print money, print. But just to put a spoiler on it, this is gold over S&P 500. So this isn't particularly great news. So I think so this is I'll go to a monthly chart. Okay, so gold over S&P 500. So you see it's been basing really, and we're currently now, or just that weekly chart, starting to break out, where gold is breaking out against S&P 500. Yeah, so what, Rudy? Alright, so I'll just go to a 3 monthly chart. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is overlay the S&P 500. Okay, so it gets a bit complicated. Alright, so the bars is the gold over the S&P 500 price. Okay, so last time the gold took over the S&P 500 was back here in 2000, and the purple chart is the S&P 500. So you can see when this started going up, the share market went sideways. That bar, so you can see, get out the way, but you can see the purple bar basically just goes sideways, and then the ratio took off. Well, that's when the GFC happened, and basically the share market from here to here went sideways while gold was outperforming. Then when the share market started outperforming gold, that's when the share market took off. Okay, so if we're heading into one of these things where gold is going to continually outperform the share market, then that's basically saying the tops, we're pretty much in with the top. Doesn't mean it's going to crash, but it does signal that a top may be in. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, but that's just some interesting statistics for you. Alright, so let's get on with the show. Okay, so let's have a look at the sectors. Go to, we'll go stick to monthly chart. So the three major sectors underlying the S&P 500. So you got the XLK. So, you know, that's still looking good. XLK over the S&P 500. So this is a monthly chart we're looking at. So it's actually just detracted from the S&P 500. XLF, so the financials. So they're off to making new highs. If you look at the XLF over the S&P 500, so last month, so it's added. So that's interesting, the financials have added. The XLC, which is communications, that's a big green candle. And XLC over SPX, so that's added value. So the major sectors are still adding some value there. Now, before we look at the Nasdaq, we'll have a look at the big boys. So we'll just go to a weekly chart just to get a better feel for it. So Google, green candle for the week, so that's still up. Apple's now found a new support zone, so it looks okay. Amazon, that looks fine, nothing scary. Meta, not bullish, not bearish. Microsoft, so Microsoft looks like it's going to find some form of a bottom here. ServiceNow, so that just looks like it's consolidating. Netflix, nothing scary. Nvidia, so Nvidia is probably just gonna, I'd say, well, it's best thing if it just ranges, a pit, they call it, a pause in time, just could do it for months. So it's still not scary. You need a big, like they reported, so everyone's consumed it and said, okay, well, that's fair enough. So Broadcom, so that's there, just consolidating. Tesla, so Tesla broke back, so it's trying to find some form of support. Okay, so if we look at the Nasdaq, so the Nasdaq's again at the top of that trend line. So it's still above this trend line, so nothing saying sell. There's a few support levels there that want to hold. But you can see from those underlying stocks there's nothing really scary though. This is interesting. Go to a monthly chart. So this is SPX over the Nasdaq. So you can see, we'll go back to a weekly, it looks better. Weekly really. Here. Alright. So the other parts, so it's not the Nasdaq, it's the other parts that are now starting to contribute to the SPX. Because the SPX is now outperforming the Nasdaq. Okay, so onto our popular ETFs, so the FANG. So the FANGs, that's fine. Again, it's still above the trend line. VGS, did that video the other day. It looks like the FANG, it basically is. Those FANG stocks basically drive, because of their market cap, drive market cap, global market cap returns. Get that out. So it's going to follow what the big tech stocks does. The old VGS over VAS. So VGS has been the outperformer over VAS, so you've done well to be in VGS. Is it time to switch out at your VGS to VAS? That doesn't say that yet. IOO. So again, they're at the top of the range, above their trend line. So that looks okay. Moat. Let's get that. Didn't do that chart very well already. Okay, so Moat's a bit of a disappointment, really, when you look at those other ones. So it's really struggling. Alright, so the takeaway really is, so nothing looks scary there, but I'd be seriously thinking about this thing here, the fact that the gold price, well, really since the beginning of the year, January 25, has been outperforming the S&P 500. So just by buying that little block of gold, you've outperformed, and it looks like it's going to start to outperform the S&P 500. If you're new to the channel, let us know about you and what you think. And the old subscribers, just let us know your thoughts as well. I'll be benchmarking the King against these ETFs in a later video. Alright then, thanks for that. See ya.